Welcome back to my league season 3 today. I'm joined by Covert and I am James as your caster today. Today we have a Group A game with Team Vague going against Lethality. Lethality. And after that today we also have Insidious going against Fatality at 9 p.m. All games will be 3 maps. Both teams are in Group A.
Alright, yeah, so for the map bans, haven't seen over team play, so don't really know what to expect. Judging by how the season's gone so far, Villa's more than likely going to be banned, although I
Any
do
map
see
in
it.
particular you're looking to see get played today?
Oh, I really want to see Theme Park, sorry. I would love to see Theme Park. Theme Park would be incredible, but it's not been played yet, so I probably don't have
Do you
high
expect
hopes.
that to be banned? But
However,
like you said, we haven't seen both teams played, so
Cafe
might
will be the
see
first ban by Lethality, and then Theme Park will be taken out by Vague. So no Theme Park in at least this matchup tonight. Well, Lethality will pick Consulate, so first map will be Consulate. More than likely seeing Vague pick defense, as it is a slightly defense-sided map. Well, we're just waiting on Vague to pick their map. So Consulate's an interesting map, as a lot of teams play it in different ways, so it'll be interesting to see how both teams play.
Pick from Vague being bordered.
Yeah, Vague picking border. It's pretty common map. There's not anything too special you have to do, but there's also a bit of variety you can throw in there. So
Nothing too surprising there.
Clubhouse will be banned by Lethality now, so that will be one of the more pretty standard maps gone. So the third map will be between Coastline and Villa, depending on who Vague want to get rid of. So it's either the most attacking sided or the most defender sided map, more than likely in the map pool. So it'll be interesting to see which way this goes. Well, Coastline will be banned out by Vague, so that does mean that Villa is our deciding map. As expected, Vague will pick to go defense on Consulate. Lethality will more than likely pick defense on Border, and then Villa. Whoever gets defense will obviously have a bit of an advantage for that first half. Whoa. Yep, there's the Lethality picking defense for Border, as they are all defend. All the maps here are defender sided, so you'd expect the team picking would pick, obviously, defense. I want to get that round count in their favor to start with, instead of having to claw back from like 2 rounds down towards the end, as usually is the case when you attack first. So, obviously going into Consulate first, what are you expecting, James?
I'd say Consulate is quite a good map for both teams, so I expect to see a lot of back and forth, probably even over time. It is a map that most teams play and are very familiar with.
Is there any what's who do honestly, I don't know who's gonna win. I haven't seen either team play, but if I had to take a guess, the fact that Lethality picked Consulate straight away, you'd expect them to be very proficient in it. So I would expect, even though they're attacking, that they can probably take that decently dominantly. Vague going to Border's a much more common map to see, so you'd expect that they probably just play it pretty default, while Lethality will also probably play it pretty default. And then Villa will be an interesting map if it gets there. I don't know, it might not. Vague might take 2 in a row. Vague might, Vague might Lethality. But if we do go to Villa, that'll be interesting as well. As very defender-sided, so it'll
We'll
be.
like see how they play on Villa as well. So you do get to map 3. Consulate and border.
Villa being a map 3 is one of the Villa being a map 3 is one of the interesting ones, as it obviously like Consulate's defender-sided but not terribly. Borders about even, but probably slightly defender-sided. But really, it depends what region you're playing in. As Latin, as in most Latin games, it can be attack-sided. While Villa is, no matter pretty much where you go, other than Latin, but Latin is just weird. It's defender-sided, so it'll be very interesting. Well, yeah. So being the third map will mean that whoever will be on defense for it probably has quite a significant advantage, realistically, in being able to take out the series.
Well, then again, after the overtime switch, the other side is going to get the advantage. So with the attacking side, just has to get maybe 1, 2, 3 rounds in to secure that.
Yeah. On Villa,
secure
if the
hand.
on Villa, if the first attacking side can make it an even split, then it is probably going to mean that they are coming into the second half with an advantage. Whereas if they take 2 rounds and the defense takes 4, then it'll be pretty even going into second half. So.
How about border? Are you expecting anything coming out of border?
Honestly, not anything out of the ordinary. It's a map where there's not really much you can do to stray off default, so it'll probably just be default, because obviously the main things you can do with it is obviously there's several ways you can attack it, but they're all default ways pretty much. You can top floor, you can either go for main wall or office pushes, or go for a split push, but that's a bit risky. There's not many people have it. While on the defense, there's obviously a couple different ways you can go. You can go hard roam, total strats, extensions, but they're all pretty default types of those strats. Nothing too insane. So. Alright, a few minutes and then hopefully everyone should be in the lobby and we will be ready to go. Alright, so here's one to you, chat. Who do you think's gonna win? Alright? We probably have a poll up, so make your predictions. Go on. See if you... So, yep. So everyone has joined, so we are just waiting for everyone to be ready before we can start the game. Everyone seems to be ready, so we will be going relatively soon, as we will get straight into the ban phase.
Jump right into it.
Who do you think's gonna get banned, James?
Well, Vegas banning first, so honestly, no speculations, but I'm not sure actually.
I'm thinking either a... That's Thatcher. All 3 of those pretty standard for this map, just because Monty, obviously, because there's a couple power positions on this map and long hallways, Monty's actually pretty good most of the time. While Thatcher ban is pretty unanimously good for defending, as it means it's much harder to try and open main wall.
Jackal ban instead from Lethality.
Yeah, Jackal ban interesting. Judging by the Jackal ban, I would probably be expecting a hard roam from them when they get to defense, as you wouldn't usually see a Jackal ban unless you were planning on doing some sort of deep extensions, as he's not terribly useful, other than seeing if there is actually people roaming or not. Well, we will see the Valk ban on defense, which is a much more standard ban for this site, for this map. Valk obviously having some dirty camera spots out on palm trees makes it's very hard to see even with IQ cameras.
No
So
surprise there with the mirror ban coming from Vague.
yeah, Miraban also pretty standard. She's just good on pretty much all the sites on this map, so it makes a lot of sense. Not just making it a little bit harder to defend. So knocking the defense up a bit with the Thatcher ban and then dropping it back down with the mirror ban. So makes pretty decent sense.
This round, we'll be seeing Vague go to second floor on console and meeting.
Yeah, so pretty standard rotation I'd expect to be seeing, unless they throw a spanner in the works for the second site, but top floor being a pretty standard first site for many players, as it is very consistent defense-wise. It's usually one of the sites that you can pretty much guarantee you'll get at least one round on, just because it's so hard for the attack to try and adjust in the middle of a round, just because you have to use so many resources automatically to try and get things done. But if you're trying to switch halfway through because a player dies or you realize they're doing something specific, it's really hard because you've usually already used a lot of your utility. So it'll be interesting to see how Lethality try and attack this. So who do you think's gonna? How do you think the round's gonna go?
It can go either way, but I'd say less more confident towards Lethality here. For now, that is. Obviously, we'll see how things progress throughout the rounds to come. For the standard setup here, we're going to see 3 nitros actually being bought by the defense. One on Mozzie, one on Mute, and the last one being on Cade.
Yeah, so expect a fair bit of vertical play here from the defense, and also the thing that'll be interesting here is to see whether the map pick advantage or the defender advantage will win out this round. Because obviously, it being Lethality's map, you'd expect them to be a bit more proficient in it than Vague.
They are trying to be quite efficient and quick and trying to clear out the really commit to this push here.
Yeah, there's not really much variation you can do after you've decided. So
I'm not going to see much of a drone work actually from Lethality.
drone economy not looking the best, but not looking the worst, losing 30% of their drones so far. However, Buck will get the first pick, so that will be a C4 going down for the defense. Plus, also losing a man means that they are in quite a bad disadvantage.
Nade is going to be taken up by the ADS there. Not going to be able to catch anyone.
Mozzie dead in an interesting position there, but we will just ignore that. As Vague's Lethality, sorry, has done rather well, taking control of admin quite quickly, so that will be quite a bit of map control given up by the defense.
I don't think anyone knows that Jaeger's downstairs right now.
Oh, nice shot there. Nice shot there from the Mute, picking up Buck, so that will be the trade back. He will lose half his health for it, but I don't think he'll really care, as making it an equal man advantage is quite significant there, as he will see someone run past.
Nitro is going to go out, but
will hit the wall. So attack seems to have slowed down now after the Bucks died, getting into 40 seconds. They do really need to start trying to make a move onto site, whereas the defense can still just sit there. So the Kaid
from both sides. Kaid is going to get one.
Getting a pick of his own, and then Jaeger getting another one. Kaid will pick up a second. So this seems to just be there's just a crossfire here between the Mute and the Kaid that the attack can't really do much on. So 1v4 now for the Habana, looking very unwinnable here, as she might be able to get a pick or two, but probably nothing more. She will run in and be taken out by the Jaeger. So good round there from Vague, starting off badly, but being able to claw it back in at the end, not really anything Lethality could do. So I think that sets a good tone for this map of Vague, obviously it being a defender-sided map. Vague looking pretty decent on it. So even though it's the map pick from Lethality, they're still going to have to work very hard to pick up this map.
You see a bit of a change here from the attacking side. Thermite being bought.
Yeah, makes sense. You obviously know they're going to go downstairs, pick lobby or double level sites. So
interesting that there is not a Maverick being bought here, given that Thatcher has been banned.
yeah,
But then again,
let's just be confident in their IQ player to be able to get rid of anything that she needs to.
We don't really see much of hard defense in Garage nowadays, anyway. But normally, if you're going to play without the Maverick, you would most probably want to have a buck upstairs.
Yeah. You obviously one of the big things is they opt out of the buck this time, so they will bring a sledge. So that does mean that the big thing with that is Sledge has to expose himself quite a bit more than Buck does. As when Buck's opening the floor with a shotgun, he obviously can still shoot people. It's just with a shotgun, but even if he doesn't, he can quickly switch. However, when Sledge whips out his sledgehammer and starts the animation, he cannot pull out of it at all, so he just has to commit to it, so he's very prone to just getting wide swung by someone. So clearly must be confident in being able to get their sledge into a specific area. Well, Jaeger could have been caught out there trying to rotate after getting bathroom hatch, but won't. This will be a double top floor hold. Jaeger and Mozzie both playing on the second floor.
Hatches are open, so it will be quite easy for them to both rotate back to site.
Yeah, so someone on upside down rappel windows will obviously be pressured. We'll be somewhat stuck in that side of console office. Will pressure also coming in from admin window, so the attackers making sure they don't do anything stupid, trying to drone out everything. There is someone also on upside down rappel on connector, so connector will also be dangerous for the defenders to play in. So obviously the attack realizing there's several people on top floor will commit a lot of utility. While you will see Thermite just jump into connector, will be taken out. So with the secondary swinging Nomad as well. So really nice gunplay there from.
That's already two of the extra charge gone.
So that will mean that main wall most likely will not get open, as they will more than likely use the Habana pellets to try and
by the Mozzie or by Spiral.
Yeah, Habana pellets more than likely being used to try and open hatches more than the main wall. So and see, bathroom hatch was open, as you saw from that. I don't know if circle desk is. No, it's not, but that could be about to get open shortly. As Sledge will walk down Visa stairs, we'll get pretty much direct line of sight on to Cafe. Don't know if he realizes there's someone hard right or not. He will now, and he will hit the shot. So good job there. However, it will be picked up from Maestro. So that will be
3, and Mozzie will get the frag on Hibana.
Not really much the attack could do there after the Jaeger got the double kill. Oh, it's very good gun skill, but you still can't really be having a crossfire like that and have both of them dying to one person, so. That seemed like a pretty poor round there for the attack, and a pretty solid round there for the Jaeger, so.
See a similar lineup from the defense, this time going basement.
So we will see split site. We will see split site brain bro over lobby, which a lot of teams have been opting to do now, as teams are starting to realize that it's a lot easier to defend that, as you don't really have to play in tellers. You can play above and below, and hold it pretty much just as easy.
That's where the pulse comes in, along with the nitro. So it's surprising there, switching the mute for the pulse.
Yeah, so obviously Pulse will definitely be playing basement, just trying to look for C4 kills on anyone playing.
Vega has been having a very strong roam game for the past 2 rounds, and that's complemented by the Mozzie.
Yeah.
clearly restricts
also
much of the information.
also complemented quite well by the fact that Axel's having pretty good gunplay on site, so both the roamers and the anchors doing good so far this game for Vague.
Now, for the third round, we're not going to see Hibana being bought here by Lethality. Instead, we'll be going for a Thermite.
Deciding that they don't want to be. But I don't know why they dropped them to Thermite. Hibana is just genuinely slightly better on this map, except for obviously the downstairs attack. But they will anyway. Maybe their players are more comfortable on the Thermite than the Hibana. I don't know, but still interesting nevertheless. Obviously, 3 people playing downstairs. I'd expect to see the other 2 people playing on top floor, as no one would really want to be playing on first floor when trying to defend this site, as you will just be pinched from multiple sides and not really anything you can do. Yeah, you're playing up in CEO. Is directly above several people now, but I don't know if he knows it or not. As the attack will realize that they are going to have to try and clear out downstairs before they can do anything. So,
Jaeger.
as Mozzie runs away, Jaeger will peek down, but that will, however, give away the defensive position to the attack, as they will obviously have heard the super shorty. Mozzie just playing a bit of mind games now, opening up the other hack, so the attackers will have to watch
quite
several
aggressively here. Not really trying to clear out the roamers.
Mozzie will pick up one though, as there is a plant coming in now from the Thermite, however, a lot of. As Sledge has gone up top trying to clear out the Jaeger, but Jaeger will just run away. Maybe IQ will get down, not quite sure how that happened.
Kill from the Evil Eye onto the engine.
Yeah, so will now be a 3v5, as Jaeger will be hit by the Nomad charge, will give away his position. But Sophia by herself is now trying to push down Archive's corridor. Might be able to catch Maestro out here. Yeah, none of them know she's here. Will easily be able to pick up at least one, can probably get 2. There will be the Maestro going down. She will switch back to go through the Great, as she will pick up a second one. So now just one person playing downstairs. It's the Echo, as Jaeger and Mozzie are still off site. So they will joint push the Echo. Echo picking up 1. Won't expect the second one, as he will get the kill. However, Mozzie will get a kill of his own. So it's now a 1v2. However, Plant will be going down, and not really anything the defense do about it. They will shoot him once, but it will not kill him. It will put him down to very, very low HP, however. So he will be 1-tap, as he will try and swing onto the Mozzie, but Mozzie will win the gunfight. So that will be the defense taking a 3rd round in a row.
Bit of a BM there.
Yeah, a bit of a teabag there. Not too kind, but when you take 3 rounds in a row on the opponent's map, I guess it's worth it. So that does mean, however, that does sadly, however, mean that we will be seeing Lethality have to pick up 3 rounds in a row on attack if they want to make this half an even split, which is looking very unlikely.
Could make the first defense side. We're going to see basically the same lineup for operators here.
Yeah.
Once again, we're not going to see Hibana being bought yet, so we'll be using a Thermite from Lethality.
Yep, so we will obviously see the top 4 defense come in now, so sticking the Thermite, I would assume, yeah, sticking the Thermite, so that is interesting, as it does want... Thermite's really weak top floor. Is pretty much the best thing he can do is just sit on upside down repel on CEO windows. It's not really that useful at opening any walls in particular, especially when Hibana could be brought to open up walls at a distance. The only wall you really need to get open is long desk, which is so exposed if you're a Thermite trying to open that, so I would not expect him to attempt it. Well, the attack, one thing to notice here is the amount of soft destruction they have. Obviously having a buck means you've got all the buck shotgun shells plus.
Interesting to see Sophia bringing the breach charges. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have a Nomad and one of, so I can't imagine you'd need too much more flank denial. So the Claymore probably wouldn't have been terribly useful, but still would have been an extra bit.
You could have switched that out for a Claymore and instead have Thermite bring the Flash that could be used to help burn out any ADS for the buck.
Yep. You will more than likely, obviously, see a lot of the stun grenades being used to burn ADSs. Plus, also, it could possibly be a couple of Sophia's projectiles being used as well to clear them
I
out.
see
But
a lot of attention here over by the east side.
going for a very similar push to what they did last time, obviously taking admin control very quickly like they did last time. So no matter not realizing anyone's in there with her, we'll just be pre-aiming, but won't be able to get anything. Actually, we'll now realize and we'll pull off. Mozzie's going below, gonna try and get a C4 kill, or maybe just play on stairs, trying to see if he can pick anyone off if they stupidly push to top the stairs, but probably won't. So once again, it was obviously a very quick take of admin, but last time the big thing that happened is they kind of choked up for about a minute and a half, but they just didn't really do anything. So it'll be interesting to see if they can do anything with if they can do anything a bit quicker this time, rather than just sitting there and holding angles, trying to wait for someone to peek. Well, they just did not peek. I'm expecting they to probably not peek this time either, so it will have to be proactive with some kills, as Buck will try and get a line of sight all the way down, and he will get the pick. However, Mozzie will pick up one of his own. Going downstairs, clearly working out, as he does pick up a kill on Visa stairs. So trading Axel for the IQ was pretty even. However,
there's some kill 11. The IQ.
Yep.
Then I will get one like on Mozzie, and that's 2 of your nitros gone.
Yeah, only one nitro cell left, but you do have both Echo. I would assume both Echo drones will still be up, as there is a trade there, the Buck and the Mute trading. So that does mean the only plant denial you have now are the Echo drones. But a 2v2 with 30 seconds left is pretty even here for both the attack and defense, as Jaeger will try and swing, misses shots on the Thermite, so will not really do anything.
Traded down the plant. As
Plant will go down.
Pick himself. He's gonna get one onto the Thermite, and we'll clean up by killing the Sophia.
Yeah, so now obviously Vague going 4 rounds up means that this half means at the end of the half Vague will have at least a 2-round advantage, but if they pick up another round and then even another one afterwards, it could be pretty bad.
No, we're gonna have a rehouse.
Yeah, we'll be seeing the rehouse, so we will
problems.
be back very soon, as I assume we will more than likely be going to an ad break or possibly just some funky music. Just a technical. So there will be some technical rehost, some internet issues, so we will be back. Better internet, better everything, pretty much. Better video quality, mic quality, so be back, everyone.
I'm doing it better. Straight double use this one letter.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, much like the Australian rugby team, we have made a sub early. I am Bluepanda, jumping in to help things go a little bit more smoothly after we had a couple of issues early on. Joining me is still Covert. Covert, how are we going?
Yeah, I'm going pretty good, but the game's very, it's quite surprising. Lethality picking the map and then Vague just coming out and just pretty much destroying them for the first 4 rounds. There's just been so many mistakes made by Lethality in the rounds. It's honestly seemed kind of easy for Vague.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, this is something we saw out of Lethality the last time they were on stream. They played against Insidious. They won that first map, but then unfortunately weren't able to bring back much going into maps 2 and 3. Sandre, hugely aggressive, doesn't really wait for the drone play. So, I mean, that's largely what we've been seeing so far. He goes in aggressively, dies early, and then there's not much the team can do on the backside of it. Really be up to whether or not Dan, Stick, and Salty can bring up the rear and do the work they need to carry this out.
The way it's going, I don't even think they'll pick up the first map. It's just been pretty much mistake after mistake after the first minute. Because the first minute of their attacks has been amazing. The first minute they've taken so much control, like it's been great. But then after that, they just kind of forget what they're doing for about a minute. And then by the time they realize there's like 40 seconds left in a round and there's not really much they can do. So
yeah, most definitely. It's what we've been seeing out of them so far. High aggression early on in the round. They don't take their time, figure out where these defensive operators are, and as a result, that when they actually do make it into the building, they're not quite sure what to do because they are still looking for those frags and that information to find out where they are. And by that stage, Sandre's already gone off on his own and probably been taken out. The dude's a pretty good fragger when he's on his game, but unfortunately, in a game that is based so heavily around information gathering and figuring out where your opponents are, it doesn't really play out too well.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure we've seen him pretty much get an entry frag every round, but he just pretty much immediately gets refragged by either the other roamer or the mute, especially on top floor.
Exactly. They also do traditionally play a little bit better on defense as well. You know, usually when Sandre's on that Jaeger, he just goes in an off-roam position and looks like an absolute beast. But coming into Consulate, it has been, but unfortunately, a bit of the story of the way Lethality plays, undermining them just a wee bit. Vague, a team that we haven't really seen too much of coming into this season. I do believe, if I remember correctly, they had to postpone their first round matches, and that is why we are coming to them tonight. So it'll be interesting to see. Well, I mean, already what we've seen from them so far, they've looked pretty impactful. But see if they can carry that onto the rest of the competition and look to have a bit of an impact.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, the way that Lethality's been playing for Vague is to just not make mistakes. If they can just avoid making some of like the terrible mistakes where someone will just peek something they shouldn't, I think it'll be a pretty easy map for them, just the way things have been going so far. So
yeah, most definitely. It's all about that tempo game, figuring out where someone is, figuring out where those roamers are can be one of the big problems to deal with, especially on a map like Consulate, and the rotation potential, if not denied on those staircases, are a bit of a problem. So that is usually the first step, not necessarily when Lethality comes to it. Additionally, when teams are hitting them, the start of rounds, it's all about that droning, all about figuring out where you can pick up advantageous angles and going from there. But we'll see if Lethality adapts their strategy to try and better establish themselves in this game, or whether they carry on with the same over-aggression that has been punished heavily by defensive teams.
If they want, honestly, if they want a chance at this, they really need to use this reho to just completely kill the momentum of Vague and stop their losing streak and just come back and hit hard. Because I reckon if they lose this first round, I reckon it'll be very difficult for them to try and come back and actually win this map.
Most definitely, and we are heading into round 5. There are 2 rounds left after this one on the attacking side for Lethality here. Heading into the pick band's gridlock. It's something I like to see. It's that rotation denial, denying the roamers from the defensive side. It's going to be a big play if they can pull it off. But we are heading downstairs to Archives Tellers. This could be an interesting round for sure. Will it be Lethality picking up their first one, or will it be Vague carrying on their domination so far?
I think there may have been a mistake because they shouldn't have access to the site. They played it round 3. Did they not? I swear they did.
We are just getting confirmation. No, they didn't. They are going to be heading to the site. So it will be that ground level play coming out of them, and this could make for an interesting one so far. I mean, pretty standard stuff. Heading into lobby, setting up those hatch reinforcements. And I mean, we traditionally see a lot of teams heading straight to that top floor first, Covert, looking to clear things from the top down. Will we see that from Lethality, or are they just going to head straight into the first floor and look for fights?
Honestly, the way that they've been playing, I reckon one of the best things that the attack can do here is probably just go for a pretty quick breach into garage and just try and overwhelm bottom floor, because The last round we saw where they played this site, the Zofia did push down hallway and was able to collect 2 kills, as the defenders just weren't expecting her to be there. They were too focused on trying to clear the people first floor. So I reckon with that, the Zofia probably spotted a weakness, and I reckon the team might be able to capitalize a bit better this round, and we'll just be able to steamroll through basement. Because obviously you will have the 3 down below and the 2 up top. So.
And it does look like we are seeing Sundray already heading to that top floor, not even bothering with the drones, will just be heading straight in through that window, looking for the early peaks, obviously trying to spray through some walls. It's where he does seem to shine, looking for these pre-fire angles and picking up the early kills onto the defending sides. And it's exactly what he's doing, relying heavily on his team to be able to drone there. But it is a Mozzie drone, in fact, which has scouted him out on that window. And that could be a bit rough if he does push in aggressively. There are defenders in position to contest this.
I don't think this Mozzie knows that there is an attack at the window. However, with how cautiously he's playing, with how cautiously he was playing, he might do. But there might be an. Okay, well, no, she shot the drone. They will definitely know where she is. So no real surprise that the gridlock will be able to have. However, Zofia has just rented up yellow stairs, so she will be able to go and take. She will be able to go and take front desk area on console.
And it looks like we might have our first fight coming out here. Culver on the Mozzie looking aggressively onto Zenith there. We'll potentially find him. Yeah, damage being traded out. Unfortunately, we did have a bit of a jump over to Kahuna. And it will be Sandre picking up the first kill, which is what exactly what Lethality want him to be doing. Picking up the head of the Mozzie there. So those drones now completely nullified. And sitting in the corner is Kahuna. Will trade out onto Sandre. So that is the buck down. The vertical play now being completely denied. The only one left that can do that is Zofia. Sprays coming out again. And Danstick will pick that one up. So refrags coming out from all over the map so far, but it is an advantage going in the favor of Lethality currently.
That is terrible there. What's it called? You get the first pick and then you just give Jaeger the refrag. No drone attempt at all. And he literally just walks around looking the other way. So Jaeger just shoots him in the head.
Now heading in position to try and get this plant down. It was the Yokai that denied it there. So they are just going to have to back in off the site away from tellers there and look for the reposition to try and get back in and plant it again. They are going for the replant onto the desk this time. It is Zenith. The Evil Eye is there, but it does get destroyed just in the nick of time as Danstick will pick up a double for himself. That is Rice being taken down. It is all up to Bacon and Axel right now. If you got to clutch this one back, there's a decent number of operators on the attacking side that are low health. So there's potential for it. The spray coming out. Zenith. And I think Bacon has been completely denied here. There's only so much this Echo can do, and he is going to be running up circle stairs there. Does get the spray out. Not going to find anyone as they are just pre-firing down into this hallway, trying to destroy this thing as the wide peak from Zenith will clean that one up, and Lethality get themselves their first round of the game.
Yeah, the big mistake, honestly, one of the, they're very lucky that they're able to obviously pick up the kills later on, but that could have gone so badly for them after they failed to drone in Sundre, just because it was just such an easy kill for the Jaeger. He did amazing picking up the Mozzie, great shot, and then because there's no droning happening because there's such an aggressive team, he just hands Jaeger a free kill. If Jaeger would have been able to pick up the Zofia there, that by far would have been a vague round. It could have been one of the worst mistakes they made all game. But luckily they managed to win anyway. So
yeah, most definitely an amazing amount of frag potential in Sundray when given the opportunity. But yeah, not having that vision, not having that information available for him just running in blindly was ultimately the downfall of him. Luckily, though, his teammates were able to clean things up and win that round for them. We are heading to Cafeteria Garage now. So this is where things get interesting with that Thatcher and with that Thatcher being banned out. It does mean it is going to be that little bit harder trying to get into the site. They do have the IQ and the Zofia, potentially going to be able to play around that as well as the Buck, but it's going to be a hard time for them for sure.
Yeah, not sure what exactly the Mozzie doing there, putting a pest on top of a car, but I'm not going to question what he does. We'll pick up one drone, obviously not being able to do much more, but yep, going to garage, obviously. This is a very impactful round, because if they can take this, then it will have to be one hell of a defense from Lethality to be able to have a chance of taking the map. So,
Yeah, and this is exactly what we're talking about. That rehost there may have been the stall that Lethality needed to stop the momentum of Vague coming into the 6th round, as they did get the last one. But going into this round, it'll be interesting to see if they can maintain that momentum, or it was just a slight hurdle for Vague there, as it is going to be Kahuna droned up out on the 2nd floor. And this is exactly where Lethality have been going. The spray coming out, Kahuna takes a lot of damage, doesn't realize that there is secondary support there. Is just going to go prone behind the desk very low.
This will be a big turning point of the round, because last time Kahuna was in this situation, he picked up a 2k. There was a crossfire set up for the attack, and he killed both of them.
Oh, and the run out coming out from Kahuna is traded out, but that is Sundari down. Their heavy entry fragger now completely gone for Lethality. Looking to make the most of being so low, is able to get big dividends out of the back of that.
Realistically, where he was there's pretty much no way he makes it out of that alive, because Hatch isn't broken, so he's pretty much stuck with Gridlock, obviously, watching. The rest of it, and IQ was pushing up yellow stairs, so he was pretty much entirely trapped, so being able to pick up a kill there is huge, as it means his team isn't down in man advantage.
Yeah, and we are seeing Cool going for a bit of a walk around. We've seen him in this position before, was able to pick up Sundray, although he's dead now. Gets the headshot under Danstick, is getting rotated in from behind, picks up a double, taking down Xenis. What a clutch there. He's found a third potentially. Spray's going out. He has down Salty there, but it is going to be the support out of the Zofia. C4 going deep. Will secure himself a triple. He's looking for a quad in this round. Sees the head spraying into that doorway. He is very, very close to being able to pick up a quad in this round. A minute left. It is all down to Orbit here on the Thermite, sorry. And he's just going to play it safe, back it off, look for that angle off of yellow stairs. And he's just going to take it easy, not going to threaten that, as he's the last member of this attacking side alive. He's going to push into garage. The smoke gas bomb is there, and he's just going to be sprayed out by the SMG-11 of Rice.
Yeah, huge play there. From Covert on the Mozzie, just absolutely obliterating Lethality's top full room clear. Obviously, the way Lethality were playing towards the end there, when he started popping off, they must have assumed that it was clear, because none of them seemed ready to take a gunfight, so... Yeah,
most definitely. But a lot of work did come out of Kahuna there on the Jaeger, going for that early run out onto Sundray, taking him down completely. We are heading into round 7 now, so it will be the switch. And it's going to be Sundray on that Jaeger again, where we have seen him thrive.
Yeah, so this will have to be an amazing performance here from the Jaeger, or one of his other players will have to pick up as well for them to have a chance, because obviously Vague taking that round, it does mean that Lethality, they really do need to pick up a couple rounds in a row here, because otherwise they'll have to get so many in a row while Vague's on match points, so...
Yeah, there is a lot of work that needs to be done here by Lethality. They were able to pick up one round, so it does show potential for them to be able to carry on and bring this to a little bit closer than it was initially going to be. But we also see the Goyo being picked up here by Salty, as well as the Doc coming out for Danstick. So a very defensive lineup out of these defenders, looking for a bit of sustainability, looking for a bit of denial as we are starting off upstairs.
Yeah, that's a play I like. I've seen a lot of Goyo. Obviously, you started doing that where you put the shield just offset from the doorway itself. It's just much more of a hassle for the attack to try and deal with.
And we saw Danstick there looking for that spawn peak, the power of the ACOG on that MP5 of his. As we are seeing the early drones coming out from Vague here, looking to figure out where this bomb site is. They are just sitting there on that rappel position. There's some last-minute defensive setup coming out from Lethality here, who have definitely taken their time getting things sorted in this round. The early kill from Danstick will take off the head of Kahuna. That Doc paying dividends already. That ACOG is so powerful in these 1v1 fights.
Well, Sundray obviously already losing some health there, so it will be a bit weaker, but obviously the Doc getting the kill is pretty big, so...
Yeah, and that is a lot of the entry potential taken away by this Lethality side. Kahuna on the Zofia is now gone. Those concussions aren't going to be available out of that lifeline. So it'll be all up to the rest of Vague here to see if they can get themselves into the site and get this bomb punter. They have taken over admin offices here, and they are looking to clear the site from east to west and get themselves in a position where they can pick up a couple more frags and just build up the momentum to get onto the bomb site.
Yeah, those are also the impact. The impact grenades going is quite bad, as it does mean that there's a lot less utility to be able to deal with the Goyo shields. So they will pretty much just have to resort to shooting them at this point if they want to get rid of them, which is not the most consistent. So.
Oh, and Rice will be down there. Sandre doing his job. Unfortunately, he isn't able to clean up the kill. It will be the Maverick there sitting at the top of the stairs trying to cover so that they can potentially get the pickup. They have dropped the diffuser though. They're trying to get this pickup so that they can gain the man advantage or gather as much of an advantage as they possibly can. Two members very low sprays coming out through these soft walls. They're looking to try and get in a position where they can get eyes on this bomb site, or even eyes on to defenders here so they can pick up an early frag. It will be the X-Kairos going out. Sandre picks up Axel now. That will be another kill for him. Culver, though, trades out into orbit. Culver gets a second again onto Salty. The man has picked up a plethora of kills in the last 2 rounds. He is just going to sit there and pull out that Goomine. Zenus will retrade onto Rice, though. A 3v2 currently. Sandre picks up another, is traded out instantly by Culver. Culver looks for another one, doesn't quite get the kill there. Will finally find it onto Danstick. He picks up the quad and it is down to a 1v1. And unfortunately, he won't be able to do anything there. Zenus will take that second round for lethality. It was close there. It was almost like Culver could have picked that up. That tiny bullet hole enabling him to take that round out.
That was one hell of putting his team on his back, if I have ever seen it. Just being like, oh, you boys are going to lose your gunfights? That's fine, I'm just going to kill him. But obviously not being able to kill the last one as he was using a bullet hole. So not pre-firing, prying at that wall, as I can't imagine anyone would. So unlucky, but very good attempt there from Culver to win the round pretty much by himself. So...
yeah, picking up the quad, unfortunately denied the full ace there in the dying moments by Zenus on that castle. It was a bit rough there. We are heading down to Cafeteria Garage again, and we'll see if Sandre's roam potential on that Jaeger is going to be pulling off the same sort of effort there. He got a couple of kills. He got the down and the kill. It was actually, I believe, Danstick picking up that initial frag for them onto attacker, sitting in the window looking for that repel kill, but I mean, it's been an interesting game so far. Vega looking rather dominant in the first half. Now we find lethality on the defender's side, and this is where they play well. Sandre picks up those frags where he needs to. He's been a bit rough so far in this game, but he is looking to show that life we have seen out of him so far as they are getting set up, and we are coming to the end of prep phase. Covert, this could potentially go to that overtime.
It very possibly could. I think the big thing here is I think lethality need to at least get 4 rounds before they get to 6th if they want to have a chance, because realistically, if you want to be trying to get more than 2 rounds in a row when the enemy point, it does get to the point where you're very treacherous. Because even if it's free, you pick up 2, you're feeling good, but after 2 of where the enemy's on match point and you can't lose, it does start to wear on you pretty hard, so...
yeah, the mental game just as important as the individual skill on these players. If you cannot go the distance dealing with these high pressure situations, it can be just as telling as, aim ability and map knowledge as well. So we are seeing that roam early from Sandre on the top floor, looking to contest the repels here. He could find an early frag. Danstick as well there in support on the Mozzie, standing up in and around this admin office, just sitting off by that hatch. So if Sandre needs to, he can just dip. So can Danstick as well. He's in that position. It's Sandre picks up the first kill onto Culver, who was the big man in that last round for Vague here. So he is just going to be able to reposition as that wall has been opened. Danstick spraying while concussed there. Is just going to take it slow, and an early start is going definitely in favor of lethality right now. More spraying coming out is Axel picking up the retrade under Sandre. So Sandre is now out of this round. That primary entry fragger for this lethality side will mean that it's going to be a little bit harder to pick up some of the heads here. Concussion going out. Not going to be able to find anyone off the back of that as they are looking to gain dominance. Bacon picks up the head of Zenus. That is the bandit down. That little MP7 not going to be as useful now that it is completely out of the hands of the defenders so far. 4-3 currently in favor of Vague, and it looks like we could see this 8th round going in favor of Vague. I do believe we have a bit of a connection issue from my co-caster, but we are heading into the final minute of this round so far. It has been very much a vague favoured round. They have got that garage wall door open as well, with the help of, I believe it was Rice, and the Maverick spray coming out onto Axel. It will be Danstick picking that one up, evening it up as well. 45 seconds left. Salty finds another with that SMG-11 in the hands of the Smoke. So a 3v2 currently. Thermite and Zofia still left alive. It will be Bacon just sitting outside that garage door, looking for an avenue in. Zofia up there on the yellow stairs will be killed as Bacon picks up the kill onto Salty. A 1v2 currently. We have seen the situation go in the favour of Vague, but it's not the case. As it's Bacon picking up that kill. He is already in garage. Will clean it up, take it to a 1v1 spray coming through that soft wall there. And it is going to be a rough one here. 14 seconds left, going for that diffuser plant. Orbit has stimmed himself up, so has a bit of extra health going into this fight. A 1v1 currently looking for these aim jewels, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bacon just heads straight outside that garage door, finds an angle, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's waiting outside, has the utility there. A couple of flashes going in. The ADS denies the initial one. Will be Orbit sitting in the back room in cafeteria, looking for that angle on top of the table. Isn't going to be able to find much. He has to force something here. He has to go for the run out and look for the kill. It will be Bacon tucked tightly in that right-hand corner. He's looking for something. Orbit going in for these tight angles. 18 seconds left. He has to force something here. He isn't going to be able to see anything just yet. Bacon just so tightly in the corner. Sprays onto the dead body. It's coming out of the dying seconds. 10 seconds left. Bacon just holding. The defuser's going out. Tries to go prone, but Bacon will clean up that round from Vague. Just holding his cool. Sitting in that corner and just not giving Orbit any room to work with. And so unfortunate. It could have been a round that definitely went in Lethality's favour, but Bacon with the cooler head prevailing as we head into match point in favour of Vague after a spectacular round. It was a rough one, and I mean, you've got to wonder, after that, you must be hugely demoralised if you're on this Lethality side. They lose so many operators early on. They find themselves in a position where they could take their own. They had the advantage. Unfortunately, not taking those equal peaks with two operators on one, giving them that aim advantage does mean that it will be Vague sitting on 6-2 currently. We are heading back down to Cafeteria Garage. The Echo being picked up this time for Orbit, not opting into that dock. So it will just be a different strategy, looking for something to try and deny that plant. And I don't know if Lethality have what it takes to bring this back. It was so rough seeing that. It was so close. Unfortunately, Orbit couldn't decide where to go and lost out on that round. When we are getting into the prep phase, the initial setup will be coming out from Lethality here. We have the Maverick once again and the Thermite. They have all the tools they need to be able to deal with this bandit once again. No 6-picks coming out. They have Axel on that sledge again. So it'll be the standard setup from both teams, just reinforcing that garage door, getting the ADSs in position to deny that utility. Bandit batteries going down, although they were largely ineffective in that last round, as we saw both the left and right side panels of that garage door being blown wide open by that exothermic charge. And 10 seconds left in the prep phase. It will be that roam potentially coming out of Sandre, as he is going to be heading for circle stairs there to go up into that second floor, where they have been contesting with Danstick, the man on the Mozzie, in support as well. Sandre just messing around in foyer there, going for that hatch. A little bit delayed, as we are already in the action phase so far. And it will be that early aggression. Zofia on the eastern side, rappelling up. As someone had gone into main lobby there, they potentially could have picked up that kill onto Danstick. Just be this little peek coming out of Kahuna into that admin office there of the Zofia. And it is going to be both the Jaeger and the Mozzie on that western side of the second floor, just holding in some of these prone positions where we have seen them. And it has worked quite well in certain situations. Bacon already taken a decent chunk of damage there on the Thermite. A lot of their hard breach potential there, as they will be opening up this garage door again. They have the Maverick. They can open up, destroy those batteries at will. And we are finding ourselves in exactly the same position that we were in last round. They have openings into garage here on the side of Vague. And, I mean, it didn't work greatly for them. Lethality, rather. It didn't work great for them in terms of holding that position while those two big doors were wide open. They played around it so spectacularly. Bacon got in and planted that bomb, and the bomb diffuser, and was able to defend it against Orbit. Unfortunately, Xenis picks up the initial kill in this round. It will be Rice dropping early. That is the Maverick. Not that they really need him too much, that flamethrower offering a whole lot, as Covert trades Sandre out. And it will be the down. Another kill going over to Covert. Bacon follows up quickly with a kill onto Xenis. 4-2 currently, heavily in favour of Vague. They have a couple of operators running on low health right now, but I mean, they've got 4 still alive. and they are playing into an Echo and a Smoke. So they got some entry denial onto these sites, and holding these positions could be a bit easier. But there's so much frag potential. Culver is still alive. They have the Zofia and the Sledge as well, so they can look for that vertical play. Vacant really just needs to hold a position, holding around as we see a breach charge coming out, looking for that vertical play again. Smoke going deep into the B-bomb site, trying to deny that sneaky plant onto Van. Unfortunately, it looked like Salty was aiming the wrong way, could have found a frag onto those yellow stairs. Orbit sitting in behind the A-bomb site, looking for a cheeky angle if he can possibly find it, heavily relying on the Yokai. Salty has moved into Workshop in Garage, looking for a spray with the SMG11 on the yellow stairs. It will be the Zofia. He gets the down. Unfortunately, he hasn't picked up the kill, not knowing that there are multiple attackers in support from behind. The defuse is going down. There is support from the entryway as well. Smoke being thrown deep. That gas grenade is going out. Will run straight into Culver, who finds himself a triple in this round as well. The man is putting in big work for his team, picking up multiple frags. The Echo coming out just a second late from orbit, and Culver will clean him up as well. Another quad to him. The man has put his team on his back on this Consulate map, and they take it. We'll be heading to map 2, which will be Border. It was definitely very, very heavily favoured for Vague right now, and quite cleanly it will be Culver picking up that. What a round, what a game for this first series of the night. We look at the scoreboard at the end of that. Culver, 11, 2, and 3 right now. More than double the next highest frags anyone else on the map so far. Xenos and Danstick did what they could, but unfortunately Lethality weren't going to be able to bring that one back. Not in the slightest. Not when Culver is finding headshots like that. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll throw it to a quick break. We'll bring you back for map 2 of Lethality versus Vague. It will be Border. So don't go anywhere. All right, ladies and gentlemen, after a rather convincing map 1 out of Vague on Consulate, now we are going to be heading to Border, and it will be Vague starting off an attack. Covert, what a map 1 we saw.
Yeah, I obviously didn't really see the last 2 rounds because of some internet issues, but the rest of the rounds were good, and from your casting, the last 2 sounded very good as well. So, hell of a game. I think the big thing was Lethality just not. I think the big thing, Lethality's attack, they just didn't drone like ever. Like although they had drones dying, they just didn't seem to ever usefully drone. It just seemed
not respecting the defensive potential. They weren't able to gain any sort of information or advantage going into that second floor. And it showed.
Meanwhile, Vague's attack, they were droning pretty much everything. There was nowhere the defenders could could hide. They were just stuck. They were just stuck either to run away or have to take an unfavorable gunfight. So.
Yeah, and while you may not have been able to see those last couple of rounds, what the viewers did get to see was Culver putting on an absolute clinic. The guy ended with 11 kills, picking up 2 quads and a triple in that attacking side. It was absolutely... Well, actually, no, he picked up the triple in the defense side on that Mozzie, and then he just came up huge.
The triple was nutty, so I would have loved to have seen what those quads were, but sadly, my Australian internet would not let me.
Yeah. And we are going to be head into the ban phase. It will be Thatcher taken away. It's basically the most telegraphed ban in Pro Rainbow, or just high-level Rainbow Six, as it is Covert. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, Thatcher's one of those bans that you don't see in ranked that often. It's definitely not a terribly high up there ranked ban, but Pro League it's especially on some specific maps is banned pretty much the entirety of the time. He just obviously teams he's so strong because it's like any sort of wall denial or anything like that, you're like, oh yeah, I got a really cool setup here for stuff. Well, Thatcher's just like, let me just throw one thing, let me press one button, and no, you don't actually. Sorry, but so,
yeah, and it's definitely where the prevalence of Maverick picks have been coming in. Not having that Thatcher online will mean that Maverick is just that much more utilized. Mira being banned out here on the defense.
Yeah, so Jackal being banned, I don't really know what more I can say about that. It's a pretty meh ban. Get better roam potential and get rid of amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's not anything too special.
Yeah, Jackal obviously being able to pick up those footsteps, figure out where certain defenders are, is great and all, but if you can deny the rotation threat altogether, like you can with the Gridlock and the Nomad, surely it just makes that a little bit more sense. But it is what they have opted into. The Gridlock going to be available. The Nomad going to be available, although Culver is just going to switch out at the last second. We could see a sixth pick into that, but he is currently sitting on the Ash. We are heading straight to the most standard side of Border. Armory, Lockers, Archives on that second floor. This is where some shenanigans happen. We also have that Maverick available as well. This is where things get a bit rough.
Yeah, so especially with the Maverick getting picked out, this is, I would say, pretty much guaranteed just with this setup to be a main wall push. Because usually, if you're trying to push office, you bring a Habana, just to be able to open up the walls going into office to archives from without exposing yourself to Fountain. So it'll be a main wall push.
Yeah, Fountain can be absolutely detrimental to some of these attackers if you're not quite paying attention to what's going on, or you're getting shot at from that office, and then all of a sudden there's a defender just cheekily sitting in behind it. It is a bit harder to deal with. Pretty, standard setups from what we're expecting. Getting those basically funneling in the attackers to where they have to go if they don't want to commit too much in terms of utility. And we are coming down to the dying prep phase. It's going to be an interesting round for sure. And what are you expecting out of the attackers here, Covert?
I already said main wall push. IQ or Buck, probably could be both. More than likely going to go down below. However, they will opt to open main wall. So the defenses just realize that they probably can't keep it shut. So we'll just instead be like, let's just not reinforce it. Let's just surprise the attack.
Yeah, I mean, it's what the defenders have traditionally done, gone for that more aggressive playstyle. Zandere will actually be playing the smoke this time rather than Jaeger, who will be picked up by Danstick, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see some frags very early on from that SMG-11.
Yeah, interesting. That's one of the things I find interesting is when people put one of their fraggers on the smoke, because smoke is an operator that you do not want to be trying to wide swing angles, because the smoke, his gas canisters are just so good late in the round. However, that is a hell of a shot from eye orbit, just absolutely obliterating Culver and the Ash. No hard carry coming out this round, at least.
That is the power of the ACOG in a defensive position. Kahuna looking aggressively at that force floor will just be sprayed out through the wall by Danstick as they were able to get vision on him instantly. And it will put them in a favourable position to start off with. This is where we see Lethality playing off the front foot in that defensive side. And they are currently up 2 operators, 5-3. It is the IQ and the Ash down, so it is going to be that much harder to push in onto site. So it'll be interesting to see if they can adapt their strategy and get in a position to contest this bomb.
Yeah, 99% sure they either spotted him or heard him, but either way, just absolutely obliterated that IQ through the wall. There was pretty much nothing she could have done there, so...
Yeah, and it is coming into the second half of the round. Drones being funneled into Armory here, trying to figure out where these defenders are and trying to refrag out and get a bit of an advantage if possible. It is going to be that prone Buck of Rice trying to open up the floor and find the feet of one of these defenders early on in this dying minute. Frag grenade going in deep. The thermite charge will be put out there. Bacon opening up that main wall entirely. Danstick, though, will finish off Axel. Zennis picking up Rice. It is a 1v5. We saw Lethality in this position in the last map, and now they are in that same position as Salty. Swinging wide with that big machine gun. Claims a flawless round for Lethality here.
That is so impressive. Just after coming off a terrible Consulate, which you picked, my Tayad, if you're Lethality. Coming off of that and just flawless round. I think it speaks for itself. Just that little break seems to do wonders for them. As after the rehost before, they came back and took a round quite convincingly as well. So clearly the break's just really working for Lethality here. Being able to start over fresh with momentum seems to be doing something for them.
Yeah, it gave them that fresh breath of life in the first map as well after that initial rehost. But we are heading down to Ventilation Workshop. This is where things get a bit fun. They've opted into the castle as well. But Kahuna picking up the Dokkaebi was initially sitting on that blitz. Not something that you would have thought we would have seen in AEC minor league.
Yeah, the blitz would have been an interesting thing, as he's realistically, unless you're just running like that AIDS type of like Jackal Lion Dokkaebi blitz type of setup, unless you're playing that, Blitz isn't the best, as Monty's just kind of better in every scenario. Because Blitz is still so easily killed, even with his shield, whereas Monty's so hard to get when he fully extends it. So if you want to have a shield face check things, you bring a Monty. You do not bring a Blitz. So
yeah, I mean, we are obviously being down on Ventilation Workshop. It is one of those sites that's hard to get on, directly. You cannot go through those traditional entries like that window into Ventilation and, coming in, following up through that soft wall into Workshop as well. It can be a bit hard, so obviously I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see that vertical play coming in. Axel has picked up the sledge. They have the Zofia as well, so those soft walls are going to be a bit rough, and defenders will definitely have to keep their eye on the sky.
yeah, they obviously, as always happens when you're trying to attack a site that's got an entirely breakable roof, is you have to clear the top floor, because there's no possible way you can try and gain access to site and do anything with it when the defenders can just look at you from above. It's such an advantageous position for the defense.
Yeah, and I mean, we are heading into the action phase, and this is where we start to see that aggression coming out of this Lethality side. Spray's going into office. It will be Danstick sitting there looking for that early frag as the spray does go out. He doesn't quite land it. And unfortunately, just behind that that air conditioning box, it's going to be a rough for him to pick up that drone as well behind him. They know he's there. Spray coming in from both sides. The flash as well. He has to go into that hatch just to stay alive, and he almost found himself at the end of a very short rope. Zennis, though, looking through that wire, will pick up his first frag off the round for Lethality, taking off the head of Rice, which is that Zofia. That soft breach going to be gone now as they are looking. And unfortunately, he will be traded out straight away by the sledge. Axel picking that one up. Gonna open up main wall as well. Culver finds Sandre, that heavy fragger on the Jaeger. And they have that hatch position favorably in terms of the attackers. They are looking to try and get down and onto this site. And it looks like all defenders are now on the first floor.
Yeah, all the defenders obviously returning to first floor means that now the attackers have the advantage that the defenders usually was, being able to look down from above. However, 2 quick kills there for the defense, and Nitro Cell collecting one from Danstick, and then Maestro quickly getting a second. It does mean that man advantage now goes in favor of the defenders, but they're still not in a great position having to play it on site. So
yeah, most definitely. Final minute coming up for this attacking side. They have to do something here, a 2v3 in favor of the defense. They have the Maestro with those Evil Eyes as well. Looking for the foot there is Kahuna, almost finding it onto Danstick, but we saw them being traded up quite quickly. The Nitro Cell and that big machine gun in the hands of Salty doing a lot of work to take things in the defender's advantage.
yeah,
They are slightly trying to figure a way in onto the sites here. They have eyes into the B-bomb site. That Evil Eye is there. They've pinged it out. They know they're looking for anything, any form of information through these soft walls. The foot, the knee, anything they can find to pick up a frag to swing things in their momentum. Jumping in through the window will be the Bacon there on the Thermite as he gets sprayed almost by Danstick here. The Evil Eye doing a lot of work. Take him even lower. Has to jump back out. The trade is there though. Kahuna in position to play off of that flank. They are getting in. 13 seconds left. He evens it up. A 2-1 in favor of Lethality right now. Sorry, no, in favor of Vague. It is Vague. Gets a bit confusing. Look at the top. But they are getting that diffuser down. Spray coming out. Kahuna will stop Salty from contesting whatsoever. And they do pick that round up quite cleanly on the end.
That is huge from Kahuna. Obviously, I was gonna say before the action started kicking off is that the attack really needed to get some sort of pick before they could think about moving on to site, and that's pretty much what Kahuna did. Thermite walking into site, obviously getting tagged a little bit, but it was worth it because it distracted the Mozzie enough for the fact that Kahuna could just wide swing into site and kill him. Then able to swing round, pick up the dock, and then finally pick up the Maestro. Really good round from Kahuna, just taking initiative and running in there and killing some people, you know?
Yeah, and most definitely. Even the things up now, despite all the momentum that was established early by Lethality, picking up that first round and picking up a couple of key frags in the second, they lose out in a 2v3 situation. As Vague will take it into round 3, 1 apiece. We're heading back to Ventilation Workshop. And, I mean, it didn't quite work there for Lethality in that first attempt. Obviously, you know a little bit more about this game than I do, Covert. What gives you the inclination that they could be able to take this one in the third?
I I think the real big thing here is if the defense can not get obliterated on top floor as much as they did, that would be great. And then the other big thing is they played really well. The attack were in a really poor position after losing those 2 quick kills with the Nitro and then the Maestro peeking through the opened floor. But obviously Kahuna bringing out some amazing gun work. But I think the real big thing here for the defense is to just, if they do have man advantage and they are forced downstairs, is not exposing yourself to top floor and just holding doorways. Because realistically there is obviously pretty much the main way they can go is through vents or through that main entrance doorway into server. So if Mozzie's just holding that main entrance doorway and then Doc's watching where Mozzie is, Kahuna can't do that. Kahuna just dies when she runs in.
Yeah, I mean, the easiest way into that ventilation side is get that smoke down, get a position, or even get the Monty, if you do opt into that operator, just to get in a position where you can plant behind them, get outside again, hold that angle, so that you don't risk losing anyone. And again, we'll see Danstick in that office will drop down. I'm not sure if it was intentional or not. It will just fall through the hatchet. And Sandre, again, back in Armory, with some support this time. It is Zenith, and they are looking for him. Culver, realizing there's someone there, unfortunately doesn't find that kill. It'll be Sandre picking up the head of the IQ, which means there's so many gadgets, they won't be able to find out drones going deep into Armory as well. And so it might be Sandre dropping down through hatch this time. And I mean, it looked good, but it wasn't in the end.
Yeah. This round starting the exact same way last round did, with the defense picking up the first kill. Now all we need is the attack to collect 2 of their own, and it would be looking like an exact replica. Jaeger will be first down after taking half HP damage. However, there will be a pickoff found here by Thermi, which will then be followed up by Axel. So that does mean man advantage is now going in favor of the attack a bit. But yeah, finally the Thermite will be picked up. So that does mean that the man advantage is obviously going in favor. However, the Thermite, I believe, is probably either 5 or 10 HP. So that does mean he'll be very, very susceptible to the Maestro cam, only taking at most 2 lasers to kill him. So it does mean he has to be careful, because those 2 laser shots go off rather quickly. So
yeah, and it will be the attackers establishing dominance above this bomb site, as well as getting men outside that ventilation window to try and get in and get that diffuser down. There's only so much that can be done to contest here. It will be Orbit looking for something, but I'm not sure what he's going to be able to find with that Zofia above, looking for that flank potential. There's also someone outside waiting for it as well. So it's going to be a hard press for this defending side to be able to pick up anything here. They are heading into Workshop as well. Diffuser has been put down, and it will be up to Orbit and Salty and Zandre to pick anything up here. They found the Zofia upstairs in Armory. Unfortunately, they were able to pick up the kill. Axel takes out Salty. Double kill for him. 4-2. Currently, impact grenade being thrown deep. Axel picks up a triple onto Zandre. It is all up to the Zofia, and it will be Kahuna cleaning up that kill. Second round for Vague. They've taken out round 3.
Yeah, that round was it started off very similar. Defense getting the first pick, attack trading back, but then Axel was just like, you know what? It's my turn to carry this time, collecting 3 kills that round. Just takes the round pretty dominantly for Vague. I'm assuming, I'm not exactly sure, but judging by the fact that the Thermite was so low and Maestro was still alive, I'm almost certain that Dokubi must have used one of her calls as he started planting, so the Maestro couldn't use his cams to kill him. Because if that call didn't go out, that Maestro made a terrible mistake there.
Yeah, and we are heading back to Armory Lockers Archives. That main wall is going to be a bit of an issue here. We'll see if they do look to play around it. The Monty being picked up this time for the attacking side. So they've obviously got a strategy pushing into this bomb site.
This is a relatively old strat that I haven't really seen at high level in quite some time, but obviously the classic strat with Monty is Monty pushes in from balcony into archives, and then Thermite plants behind him. They smoke off a bit in front, and then they just plant. And usually, it's very poor. However, with how most teams end up playing now, it's really easy to deny, because smoke can just smoke over the top, or someone can drop hatch below and just nitro cell. But it could still work if they're not expecting it, and the defense is caught slow. This could still definitely work. So.
I mean, they're definitely playing into a team like Lethality, whose style is largely aggression. from start to finish, and they've opted to open up that main wall again, heading into action phase. They are all upstairs, I believe, except for Xenis, who is downstairs. And looking, no, not even that. They're all upstairs still. They're playing in this aggressive position up on the top floor. They're not looking to play the vertical game at all. And I mean, if they're playing into a Monty, that could be a bit hard. They do have a couple of Nitro cells on the board, so they might have the ability to make things happen. But it's going to be a hard push for sure.
Yeah, but obviously Nitro cells. If it's in front of the, if it's in front or roughly to the side of a Monty, it won't do any more than 20 damage at most. You really do have to get that good throw going to be able to do anything against the Monty with a Nitro cell.
Yeah, I mean, they may not even be looking for the Monty, though. Obviously, like that strategy you did talk about. Well, we both know, obviously. Pushing into balcony and getting that plant into office. I mean, archives, rather. Being able to throw the Nitro cell deep, get the person who is planting the diffuser, completely disrupts that strategy as well. So we'll make it that a little bit harder. But it is going to be Monty on main wall looking for something here. They have the buck from below, and the defenders have all but given up this armory.
This just looks like, honestly, it just seems like a bit of a debate tactic almost here from the attack. Is you run the Monty in and you're just like, everyone, look at here, there's a Monty. Meanwhile, Buck goes below and makes it literally impossible to play below. However, we will have a trade happening as the Buck will get killed by the very aggressive Sundre on the smoke. As you said, he will be peeking very aggressively. On smoke, proceeds to run downstairs, takes the gunfight with the Buck, gets killed, but then jumps out and dies to a Claymore. However, Jaeger will pick up a kill of his own, and that will be Axel going down.
They find Culver Bacon trading straight back onto Danstick. 2 versus 3. Again, a situation we found ourselves in. Favor going to Lethality. They get in the diffuser down. They've got the Monty in support. Bacon just faking it out. He doesn't know that the Xenis is below. They also have the Bandit as well. But throwing up the Nitro Cell will take out Bacon. It is all up to Kahuna on this big Monty. He's in the corner looking for the kill, finds one, but it is traded out straight away by the castle from below.
Yeah, that realistically, unless you're playing against legitimate bots, you never win that as Monty. I'm sorry, but on my Smurf, where I'm in low silver, I've won some of those, but you're not winning if you're playing against any sort of decent opponent at all. You just don't. So
yeah, it was definitely a hard ask, but we are going to be heading into round 5, back to Ventilation Workshop, 2-2 currently. The most even this series has looked so far, Covert.
Yeah, most definitely. Obviously, Consulate as the 4-round advantage is taken very quickly by Vague. It never really got a chance to look even. However, this map, obviously, Vague first round going to Lethality, Vague collecting 2, and then Lethality getting another one. It's looking kind of even. Well, if the trend continues, we would see Vague going up 4-2 on attack at the split here, at the side switch. So that would not be the greatest. You don't really want to be going down 4-2 on border. Much rather to either keep it equal or be positive when you're defending. So
yeah, most definitely. We do see a couple of changes out here with Sundre on the Valkyrie going into round 5. We also see the Legion coming out for Orbit. A bit of a switcheroo in terms of the other operators. We're not going to see a smoke here, which is about right. I mean, it makes that ventilation push just a little bit easier. So it'll be interesting to see if they can read into the strategy. There's no real significant differences out of this attacking side. In fact, they picked up the Dokkaebi once again. So those calls, the friendly calls from your friend Dokkaebi, is going to disrupt plays like we saw in the last time they tried to hold this site, as the Maestro was completely negated there.
yeah, obviously Dokkaebi, your friendly neighborhood mum, calling you at the most inconvenient of times. So it'll be interesting to see how. So far, Kahuna's done really well, being able to make sure that Thermite got the plant and also pretty much single-handedly clutching out one of the rounds as well. However, Kulvar will pick up an early kill there onto Bandit. Bandit, I think, was trying to play aggressive with a spawn pick, but will just get deleted for attempting it. So
yeah, again, just being able to play off of this aggressive style coming out of Lethality and looking to abuse it for early frags and early advantage. And they are just doing their thing, looking for these pre-fires into doorways and windows, droning out these defenders. And Culver not droning out whatsoever, does get cleaned up by Danstick, evening things out. And unfortunately, Sundre having a bit of trouble getting down that hatch. I think
Yeah.
the debris was a bit of a hassle there. As the run between Armory and CCTV is going to get Dan Slick in an offside position. Look to maybe pick up someone. Little does he know, there's someone outside that doorway. It is Axel picking him up, and it was ambitious at best, but unfortunately that Vague had someone in position to capitalize.
Honestly, I'm pretty much certain that that could have worked very well for the Jaeger if it wasn't for the Dokkaebi, because obviously his phone just ringing the whole time. The sledge probably heard him as soon as he walked out of Armory. Like it's such a loud noise.
Not only that, but the drone was there as well. Did spot him out as he killed it, so they would have had all the information they needed to be able to pick that one up. They have the top floor control, hatch being open, and Archive is there, as well as opening the floor above Workshop and looking to pick up some of those vertical frags, which can turn rounds on their head here. And it's just going to be Axel going to town with his destructible floor. And they are laying things out. 1 minute left to go. We have yet to see the push.
The one thing I want to take note of there is Axel. He's obviously been playing Sledge quite a lot, but the fact that he broke floor directly under him is interesting. Because one of the big things that you never want to do if you're trying to play vertical, never mind, he just gets deleted, and then Tassandre will pick up a second, so carrying his team there.
He picks up a double, denies the diffuser plant as well. Salty finds Rice, taking it now into a 3v1 off the back of that clean double out of the Jaeger. It is all up to Kahuna, the Dokkaebi with that DMR, looking for something. There's someone behind the wall, the spray going out, but it's not going to be enough. Salty cleans that one up, and they take themselves up 3-2.
Kahuna, Kahuna not being able to clutch that one with some mad heroics, but you know, that was a good round. Yeah, as I was gonna say, it's really risky.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the Boss G would have been a bit of pickup there, just the absolute demolition that it does offer. But I mean, we're going into round 6 now, 3-2 in favor of Lethality, I believe. No, actually, I'm sure this is the first time they've been up in the series. We are going to be heading to custom supply room this time. The Velt's going over to the hands of Orbit, and it'll be Sunray playing Doc this time. The man is just playing everything.
Yeah, it's the second time, as they did win the first round, so they obviously went up at the very first round of this map. But it is the first time that they have gone up with both teams having rounds on the board. So
yeah, and heading into that prep phase, they are just going to be looking to set up defensively as best as possible. Obviously, you don't want anyone coming in that back wall. It can be hugely detrimental if you're not quite paying attention. We also have that Nomad in the hands of Kahuna. The man has been putting in some big work right now. Him and Axel sitting on 5 frags apiece currently. Both of them just one behind Danstick, who is currently leading the scoreboard in terms of kills. Cameras being dropped as well by the Valkyrie. Things going out. They find the drone of the Buck. Rice not going to be able to get that sneaky position and get that vision down. And it almost was clean, but not quite.
Judging by the fact that Sundre had to ping where Valk through the camera, that makes me think that iOrbit is not used to playing Valk. Because that's not even an out there camera spot compared to some of the others that you see. That's a very common one. So the fact that he had to ping it for her is
it's a bit rough. Sandre looking for that spawn peek out this western window, and by CCTV not going to be able to find anything as the spray did come out. They had seen it, so they were obviously very well aware that he was going to be sitting in that position looking for something. They are setting up, looking for that vision, as we have seen Vague do time and time again. Get the drones out, get the information they need to be able to threaten the side. It hasn't always worked because of the aggressive playstyle of Lethality, but it's smart gameplay out of them for sure.
Yeah, I definitely say the better team. Like obviously Lethality has by far been the better team frag-wise, except for Kulvar maybe, because Kulvar's just been popping off. Honestly, a couple of the players have been popping off, but realistically, Lethality overall have just been better fraggers compared to Vague, who have been better overall as like a team. But
yeah, speaking of Kulvar popping off, finds the initial frag in the round. Will be losing Rice though in response as he is traded out by this Lethality side. Pre-fire coming out. Kulvar will be able to pick up that kill. Zenis again. Lethality trading out onto Axel. So that is the sledge gone now, making that vertical gameplay just a little bit harder. Not going to have that soft breach potential of that big sledgehammer. As Salty taking a bit of damage, unfortunately, in behind that customs room. There's more sprays coming out from the attackers. They're looking to drone out once again.
Yeah, very much a back and forth here. Neither team letting the other one have a man advantage. However, the bandit will run out. Oh, will be absolutely obliterated by Kahuna. Kahuna just predicting it and absolutely slamming the kid. It is not very nice. Kahuna picking up another kill. So there is Kahuna doing some. There's Kahuna popping off a bit again, as it is now a 1v3 for iOrbit. Or will pick up one, but the plant will go down. I'm assuming he will more than likely know that the plant went down in supply, as he was right next to it and would more than likely have heard it planting and then heard the thermite move off of it. So, however, not sure what the second one is.
Yeah, and he's desperately looking for either Kahuna or Bacon right now, but they're holding such great positions. Bacon lying prone in that supply room. I don't know if we're going to see Orbit read into this. He's peeking wide. He has seen it, but he saw the body first. Straight at that. Will actually pick up the kill there. And
All
Kahuna
Kahuna has to do is hide.
He's going down to the dying moments. The defuse will be going out, and Kahuna will just swing wide, pick that one up, and get himself a triple to take out round 6, evening things up once again.
Yeah. So, I say the big thing there for Kahuna is 10 seconds left, and it's a 1v1. Just hide. Because you literally just need to hide for 3 seconds. And then you win. Because obviously you have to get onto that diffuser before it gets below 7 seconds left, otherwise you've got no chance. And at that point, that is exactly what iOrbit had to do. Hopped on it, just above 7 seconds, but couldn't pull off to get the kill, so just got killed instead.
Yeah, and we will be swapping over. It will be Lethality heading to the attacking side here. We are going to be heading to Bathroom Tellers for the first round of this Vague Esports defense. And I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. Once again, everyone obviously understanding what the limit is in terms of operator potential going into this. But Kahuna, you see him on the scoreboard, 8-0-3, has taken that lead off of Dan Sticks. Axel still in support, hasn't picked up a kill there. It was Kahuna going large in that last round.
Cool, yeah. Culver, not doing as amazing as he was last game, but he's still doing well. He's definitely not been, he's definitely not been, you know, failing to get kills.
Yeah, 5, 3, and 6 in his pocket is actually Rice, who has yet to find a kill on this Vague Esports side. I mean, Culver did take to the second half in that first map to be able to actually start picking up those frags. We are heading into it now. He's already got 5 more than he did in that first map, first half. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see him snowballing a wee bit on that Jaeger now. The prep phase being started up here. They're looking for that denial, looking for that hard entry denial, sorry. And slowing down the attackers is going to be the name of the game.
Interesting thing here is the fact that they've decided to play kind of like how G2 do from Vague here, opting to go Tellers first. So, going what many would argue is as bottom 2 for sites on this map, but just bringing it first. Because obviously most people are not going to expect you to go there, which is where the main advantage comes from. Is they're just not prepared for it, so...
Yeah, and they are setting up for that vertical gameplay as well, holding that second floor. Culver initiating this round, picking up the head of that Buck. Sandre now gone. And this is, again, where we see that detriment for Lethality Esports. And not droning out, not getting that information has led to that...
And Danstick going down to half HP as well. So that's very good. Culver losing no HP, killing one and dropping another to half HP. That's so good. Obviously, also, Sundre going down, it does mean that your entry will be dead. However, it does, with the fact that he's on Bug, it's alright, because you do still have Zofia. The interesting thing is the fact that you do put your entry who is that aggressive on Buck. Buck with the grenades and shotgun shells obviously provides a lot of utility, as the majority of people know. So, putting him on Buck means that obviously him dying first is quite detrimental for the attack.
Yeah, it's a position we see Lethality Esports and Sprays coming out through that wall just in Archives, looking for something here as the attackers are going to be holding on to Armory there. Axel looking out that window, knows there's an attacker just outside trying to pick that up, and I mean, he will get swing wide, will pick up that kill though as the X-Kairos are being used there. And behind him, Spray going out, he gets taken very low. Axel with that UMP trying to pick up the head here if he can. Arguably one of the worst guns, or at least contested to be one of the worst guns, as he is traded out. Salty, though, will die off the back of that kill. Rice with the SMG-11 will pick that one up, putting themselves in a man advantage of 4-2. Currently, Orbit will pick up Bacon, dropping it to a 3v2 advantage, but it's still very much in favor of Vague right now.
2v2?
Orbit will drop it down to a 2v2. It's up to Kahuna and Rice to stick this round out.
This
the first
is-
round of the defensive half for them. Zenis and Orbit are very low, though, so it is going to be a hard press for them. They're trying desperately to get into this bomb site as the countdown timer is dropping lower and lower. 30 seconds left. Hatch will be open there, giving them that vertical eyesight.
I'm not gonna...
They have seen it. They will stop the defuse from coming out. Orbit is gone. Rice picking up a double kill there, and Zenis with the SMG-11. It will be a battle of the SMG-11s here as they're both looking for the angle, and it's Rice winning that one, and will pick themselves up a 4th round.
I'm kind of glad I didn't say anything there, because I was going to say this is looking like a little bit of a choke here from Vague, obviously going from a 4v2 to a 2v2, but closing it out, both on not the greatest amounts of HP, having to push onto site with no intel, just getting absolutely slapped from the vertical play, so...
Yeah, it definitely would have been a stressful situation for Vague there, but they do keep their heads and clean things up in the end. We are going to be heading to Armory Archives now, and they have picked up the Cade instead of the Bandit this time, and it doesn't look like they've got any tools to deal with it. No Maverick pick here from Lethality.
Yeah, not bringing the Maverick is interesting. You must just have faith in some of your other players to be able to do the job that he would usually do. Obviously, the Bucket and the Zofia can go below, make sure the area under main wall is open so they can shoot out anything that they need to. So it will be interesting. But the big thing, that's a spot I like to see. So that's a really good spot. It means that, obviously, because of where it is, when you're below, if you're looking for it, you're not going to see it, because it's not a main exit, which is where everyone goes to clear out the wall, so...
Yeah, that is a pretty big read out of Axel there for Vague Esports. Dropping that Electroclaw from below will help set up that hard entry denial. They don't have any real way to deal with it other than those frags coming out, as well as the impact from the Zofia with the lifeline. They are getting this set up, and there is no IQ either. So that vertical play is just going to be that much harder to manage.
One of the biggest issues there is without the IQ, you're not going to know where it is. Which means when you open up below the main wall and you can't see it, this attack is going to be so confused about where that Kaid is if they try and push main wall.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you do neglect that vision and information gathering potential in your operators, as we will see this attacking side again, already aggressively pushing up on the balcony. They're taking their time in terms of droning. And will be Sandre is probably the latest we've seen him enter the building so far, as Culver roaming down on that Jaeger from below. Early kill for Danstick will pick up Culver. That is the Jaeger gone now. Sandre going in aggressive, looking for that vertical play again. It's where he shines. He looks for those solo frags, but when there's no one there to back up, he gets traded out quite easily.
Yep. I do believe that is the first time we have actually seen him use vertical play on Buck. As the rest of the rounds, he's either been fragged first or been refragged after getting the first frag. So, impressive. He can actually use his shotgun.
Yeah, and they are getting in position to push up into the second floor here. They have that exothermic charge going out, and they have opened up that wall. It will be the Valkyrie in position. Axel sitting off to that side. Kahuna takes a bit of damage through that wall on the Mozzie. Luckily, though, he's short orbit. We'll find Bacon. Unfortunately, that position not quite good enough. Nitrocell going in deep through the wall. We'll find Zenis. Kahuna with the big throw from the little man. Will
Unlucky there for Sledge is the fact that it was going pretty much straight at him. So if he actually has bullets in his mag, he can probably shoot out the air there. But he was stuck in reload with 0 bullets in his mag. So unlucky for the Sledge.
Most definitely. And they are definitely establishing themselves on the second floor. Kahuna hit with a concussion grenade there. Will spot out the drone, although I don't think it saw him, so he is just going to hold his fire there. So they in this position. They are looking to push into Archives through that soft wall. He sees them. The spray coming just a second too late. Sandre will pick it up. and they take down another defender there. 2 members left for this Vague esports side. Axel and Rice, the SMG-11 in the hands of Rice. Nitro Cell going to go out. It will land onto Salty. Another Nitro kill for this Vague esports side. Unfortunately for Rice, though, it will be Danstick off the back of that as Axel quickly dropped in following. Danstick going huge in that round as Lethality clean up round 9.
Yeah, that was just rather impressive from the attack. Instead of just running in and trying to get frags, they actually played it pretty methodically, making sure that all the areas of where they weren't pushing but were vulnerable while they were pushing, made sure they were clear before pushing. I think that's the first time we've actually seen them be methodical with their pushes, and it's worked very well.
Yeah, I would imagine after that last series they've played in this tournament against Insidious, where that hyper regression worked really, really well on the first map, and from there it just went downhill for them. They've adapted their play style. They said, you know what, hold on, we need to take things a little bit easier here and look to play around the information we can gather, as we are going to be heading back to Archives and Armory. I wonder if we'll see the exact same strategy coming out, because it did work for Lethality there in the end, but I would have to think that it was more off the misplays of a Vague than anything.
Yeah, a couple of the Vague players there just getting caught out in bad positions, so it was just easy kills for the attack. But I'd expect a very similar setup from Vague. They might change a couple of specific things, but I wouldn't expect anything out of the ordinary to be changed.
Yeah, and they are just getting all that prep sorted. Very similar setup than we saw out of these guys in the last one, so they sticking with the same sort of thing. They know what they want. They know what they do works. Obviously, it was a pretty favorable position until they got caught out. But I mean, if they pull it off right, it works. It's quite clean that the attackers fall quite quickly as well. But we are going to be heading into the action phase once again. We see no Maverick online for this Lethality esports side, so that main wall is going to be a hard push. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see them breaching in from the eastern side.
I wasn't paying attention this time, but I would guess that I would assume that Axel probably threw the same Electroclaw, but he might not have. But I would take a pretty good guess here. The other thing is Axel bringing the Org over the TCSG, so it does mean that just the insane 2-tap potential from like across the map will be lost. But it does mean he's in a bit of a better position if multiple people try and push him at once. So
yeah, it's more that quantity over quality type of situation. His first frag of the round will be Culver, taken out by Sandere. I mean, it's the operator he plays a lot, is the old Jaeger, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if he knew the position to hold, as it will be Danstick finding a second onto Kahuna. The Mozzie gone, so the drone potential no longer there for this defending side. And once again, we see it will be Bacon in the exact same spot, hit by that concussion. We'll just be finding things a bit harder to see. As, I mean, it didn't work from last time. What makes him think that it'll work again this time? Rice being damaged quite heavily from below. Is taken out almost quarter. Bacon, actually, it works this time. He finds one. Will take the head off of Salty. Danstick again trading out onto Bacon. A double kill for him already in this round. And it just isn't working for Vague here. Lethality reading the play and absolutely besting them.
yeah, just once again, it's just been nice and methodical from Lethality here, just making sure that they don't get caught out from people playing in awkward positions. Obviously, being able to pick up the kill on the Thermite for Bacon was decent, but then instantly getting fragged out as Sundre will pick up a kill, so that will mean that it is just up to Rice now, as he will get picked up by Danstick. So pretty sure that's a 3k there for Danstick in the round, so good job to him. As Lethality looking a lot better attacking this site, so
yeah, securing the triple there. Zandre got the double in his hands. And I mean, going into round 10, 5-4, it is neck and neck currently. Rounds consistently being traded back and forth. Lethality will lead, Vague will bring it even. And then we see Lethality step forward again. We are going to be heading down to bathroom tellers in this round. And I mean, obviously, Armory is not working for them, so it makes sense for them to change things up a wee bit.
yeah, honestly, the way that these two maps have been going is, if you didn't see the ban phase, you probably would have thought that the maps were the other team's picks. Because, obviously,
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Vague looked so insanely dominant on that Consulate map. And then coming here, Lethality have just looked... Lethality, if anything, they just looked it just looks like they've scrimmed it more, if I'm gonna be honest with you. It just looks like they've put more time, more effort in making sure that they know exactly what they're doing. Because
Yeah.
the attacks have been nice and methodical, and the defenses were pretty good as well, compared to that Consulate where they were just running in for frags and getting smacked about by Covert.
Yeah, and we will be seeing that similar style out of Vague, playing from the second floor above the bomb sites. Just going to be letting, you know, it's a pretty easy run in onto sites, and then all of a sudden you're just getting punished so heavily from above. And I mean, if you know, Lethality have been reading Vague the way they have been so far, I wouldn't be surprised if they read into this one as well. And
Well, it is the same setup as they did last time. However, that's unlucky for Covert, being taken down to about 25 HP. As Castle tries to go for the super shorty shot on the hatch. Just a bit unlucky timing-wise, but however, it does mean he will be one shot to quite a few weapons. And at most 2 shots, so he's in such a worse position now trying to roam.
yeah, I mean, this is the position we've seen him in time and time again. 9 times, well, I say 9 times out of 10. We haven't seen that many rounds on this defense side for them, but I mean, a lot of these rounds have been going the way where Covert is instantly traded out by Sandre at the start of this. It will be Zenus in position, pushing in onto Archives. Unfortunately, what he doesn't know is there is the defender prone. Almost finds the headshot. Kahuna almost going big. Rice will accidentally pick up the kill onto Bacon. Not quite sure what happened. A bit of an overlap in terms of lines of sight there.
All the defenders trying to get in the action of hurting each other.
Yeah,
That's
and then we
cool,
go Covert cleaned up with that low health by Zenus. They are pushing in above the sights here, looking to collapse in on these defenders. And I mean, what we saw in that first map from Vague was absolute dominance from start to finish. Now they're looking very, very shaky going into the second map. 5-4 in favor of Lethality as Salty will pick up Axel, dropping the favor even further in the hands of Lethality as they quickly sweep up that round.
I'm going to be honest with you, Bluepanda. I think we're going to Villa here.
I mean, as much as map 3 can be a bit stressful, I do love a bit of Villa, so I wouldn't be against the idea, as we are going to be heading into round 11. Match point for Lethality. I mean, this is the biggest lead we've seen them have so far in this series.
The biggest issue you have here now with your Vague is you can go to Tellers, where you just got clapped on, or you can go Armory, where you got clapped on twice in a row, or you go Vents, where you have to hold Armory anyway. So it's not looking the best for them, as they do whatever they do. They have to play in a position where they're defending the same place where they just got clapped, pretty much. So
yeah, I mean, we're finding ourselves in a situation where you've got a team of Vague who looked really, really good on attack in that last map. And you've got a team who plays really, really well on defense, which is Lethality. And coming up head-to-head on a map, which you've got to wonder if maybe, if they had the option, Consulate would have been Vague's pick as well, and they were just sort of playing into, you know, I mean, it's not our best map, but it's sort of our next best map. We'll go to that. And it's a map that also plays very well for Lethality. Yeah. And it would explain a lot of what's going on.
Yeah. I think, honestly, unless... The one big thing is, unless this was just like a weird thing for Lethality, where they're like, oh, Consulate's one of the best maps where we can just run in and frag, which I would disagree with. I think Consulate's a very bad map for just trying to run in and frag without droning, because there's so many pixels you can hold from spots that's so easy to clear if you drone, but so hard to if you don't. And then they've just been like, and then Vague obviously being like, oh, they played Consulate, nice, that's one of the maps we're amazing at, this would be an easy map win. And then being like, oh, but what do we play now? Because there was a pretty large pause from Vague after Consulate got picked for them picking this map. So this might just be one of the maps that they're kind of meh on, as maybe one of the ones that was banned by Lethality was their good one alongside Consulate. Because you will see it where a lot of teams have 2 maps they're really strong on, and then they'll have another 2 or 3 that they're meh on, and then they'll have one that they're not the best on. That you will usually see.
Definitely could be the situation we find ourselves in. And we are going to see that vertical gameplay again coming out of Vague Esports, and I don't know if Lethality have realized that it isn't actually in Armory the bottom side, as they are pressing aggressively into Armory, looking to find what they can. Bacon is there behind that low wall, Culver on the stairs. And they may have misread the situation because the bomb site is actually below where they're aggressing onto.
They mess. This isn't like a clubhouse thing. This isn't a thing where it's easy to debate opponents. So they must have. Surely they're not hard committing to this top floor take, right?
I say that is what Vague is doing in this round. Definitely seems to be working. Danzig, Xenis, and Salty all taken down quite quickly. They did lose Axel. Bacon find himself a double onto I orbit there as he has dropped frag grenade being thrown. Unfortunately, in a pressure situation, was from a rough spot. As Sandre is just going to be cleaned up. That double tap buckshot to the head.
One thing I would say with almost certainty the attack knew that it was downstairs, as the 2 rounds they attacked Armory, they pushed office and it worked amazingly. And then all of a sudden this round they were like, no, let's just attack main wall. I can't imagine a team after you destroy 2 rounds in a row pushing office. I don't think I could name you a pro league team that's be like, yeah, let's just completely change how we attack after that if it was the same site. So they must have known it was downstairs and they're just like, there's no point trying to push office, it'll waste too much time and utility. But that might have been a mistake as they just got obliterated trying to push main wall.
Yeah, I mean, misread for sure. However they approached it, heading into this 12th round, 6-5. Vague in a position to even things up and take it to overtime. Lethality obviously in a position to take it to a map 3 if they can pull this one out. We are going to be heading to Archives Armory once again, a site which really hasn't been working for them. Covert, what are they going to do differently this time?
I think one of the big things that you have to do here is, if you're Vague, is stop holding office so hard. Because, like, obviously you want to put pressure on office, you don't want to give it to them for free, but you've been losing 2 or 3 people within 2 minutes for the attackers just getting control of office. So, I'm sorry, I don't care what your strat is, but you need to stop holding that area so hard, because you are just getting clapped whenever you do.
There you go, you heard it from Covert himself. The overcommitment to office has, I mean, everyone can see it has been rather low impact for this Vague esports side, and we're going to see the exact same push again from the looks of things out of Lethality. But they do have Kahuna downstairs on the Mozzie, looking for that roam threat. Sandre, who has traditionally been hitting downstairs off the bat for this Lethality esports side, is going to be holding in reception there. And I mean, it's exactly where Sandre is going again. We don't see him droning, it's his teammates doing it for him this time. And I mean, rather than jumping through the window, he goes for that soft wall breach with the skeleton key to look for a frag. This man is so aggressive.
Yeah, in fairness, the one thing that does look good here, though, is it does look like Vague are not holding office. So, good job. You've realized your mistake. So now all you have to do is win your gunfights. That is the key here. Is if this defense can win the gun, that could be a misplay there. If that drone didn't see him, which it doesn't look like it has, because no attention has been diverted to clearing this Mozzie, this could be tragic. But it will more than.
The drone is coming back. They've seen him now. They know there is someone there. So it will be Sandre on that aggressive play, looking for the frag there on the buck. There's one frag grenade left. I mean,
do they?
You'd have to think they know the jump out coming through that window from Danstick. Dropping into a 45. Sandre is there. Will find the refrag onto Kahuna. Almost a spectacular spot for this defender to be. And Axel is dropped. Xenis will pick up Bacon as well. Culver, though, will take Sandre down. I think it's 3v3. Axel, unfortunately, though, has been down.
More like, yeah, it'll be a 2v3 now. No. It'll be like a 2v3 now, because like, Axel might be... Actually, he will get picked up, so we'll go to a 3v3. One of the biggest things when you injure someone is, obviously, when he's injured, it means that they're down a player, pretty much. But it also means if you play your cards right, if you can get a drone watching a pixel of where he is, and you can see when someone goes for the res, that's pretty much easy 2 kills. Because the person rezzing is in such a worse position if they have to pull off the res and try and peek an angle.
Salty throwing a lot of utility into Fountain, trying to scout that player who traditionally sits there. Out, the spray coming out. It will be Axel picking up that kill, despite being incredibly low. Zenith's dropped in on the backside. Orbit refrags onto Kulva. It is up to Orbit to take down both the Mute and the Kaid here. He's got a lot of work to be doing. He's looking for that high peak through that little breachable area. Is just going to be holding the angle is Rice. Orbit rotating around, 13 seconds left in this one. He's pushing into Armory. Too small window. Will go through middle. Detector spraying into the left. Will get taken out from behind. Axel cleans it up and takes it to overtime.
All I'm going to say is I spoke too soon. We might not be going to map 3 here. There's a Vague of... Honestly, props to Vague. They've realized their mistake and they've fixed it.
Yeah, and it will be Lethality starting off overtime on the attack. So, I mean, the strategies they've been pulling out on the attacking side with Covert have been working reasonably well. It got them to the point where they are now. Unfortunately, that last round was not quite as clean, but can they continue the momentum they've had so far and take this one out? Or is it going to be Vague finishing off the series in style?
I think it depends. If Vague stick to what they did last round and Lethality don't adjust, Vague takes it. However, if Vague goes back to what they were doing before when they got clapped, which would be stupid, could still happen, Lethality take it, and if Lethality adjust in the right way, I reckon Lethality can take it. So it's really all about what Lethality does here.
Most definitely, and it is all coming down to the wire. The exact same picks we've been seeing out of these teams time and time again. The only real difference is Sandre will be playing on that Ash this time. The aggressive entry fragger. Will he be able to pull it off? He's been rather successful on the buck. This time the change-up, I'm not sure if it is going to be the switch that they need, but we will be heading back upstairs to Armory. And I mean, it's a side they defended quite well in the last round.
Yeah, well, the one big thing here is obviously you down a lot of soft destruction and you down some frags, but I think Ash is much more suited kit wise to just running into rooms and just shooting people in the face, which is what Sandre is good at. So could work.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, if this was a game like Counter-Strike, the pure fragging potential is a large factor in what determines these matchups. I guarantee you Lethality would be taking this one, but I mean, there's so much more to this game than just pure frag potential, and that is where Vague are definitely shining. They're getting that information. They're playing a smart game in terms of Rainbow Six Siege, as there's a heavy commitment downstairs, as it will be Kulva dropping down to join Kahuna.
Yeah, so pretty heavy downstairs presence, while Sandre will jump into tellers as he has been doing the last couple rounds. So it does mean that there will obviously have to be some room clear out from the attack, as there are 2 people playing downstairs. Or now only missing his shots
being put onto Orbit. Kahuna, yeah, I mean, they've read into that roam play, or at least the level. There's the first 4 play that we have been seeing out of Lethality, that aggressive style, and they have done a bit of damage early.
I think
onto the IQ.
Yeah, the best thing here is honestly for Kulva to just head back up top. If Kulva can head back up top, leave Kahuna down there. Kahuna might be able to find a late pick somewhere as they forget about him, try to push upstairs, and then they can do something. However, there won't be some trades as Mute will fall off. He will use his Nitro Cell to get the trade though. No!
He's holding it. Sandre finds the kill onto Axel. Unfortunately, not going to be able to find the kill onto that down player of Lethality. They've lost Kulva and Axel early.
IQ was the savior there, shooting the Nitro Cell probably no more than half a second before it was going to be detonated in midair.
The Nitro Cell committed. Zenis is down as well. Bacon, Kahuna, and Rice got a lot of work to do. Bacon did frag out Sandre there on the Ash. 1 minute left in this round, and they are heavily pressing in towards these bomb sites. The attackers looking for that minor advantage to be able to get in and get the diffuser planted, but Bacon, Kahuna, and Rice are going to be fighting tooth and nail.
Kahuna
committing the drone.
Kahuna needs to push up now.
Rice is going to be traded out after killing Zenis. They both take each other out. It will be Bacon finding the head of Salty, dropping into 2v2. Finds another one onto Orbit. Triple kill for Bacon here. It will be Kahuna rotating in from behind. Danstick, the only one left, the top fragger for this Lethality esports side into overtime. 32 seconds left. Bacon and Kahuna only have so much work to do. It's largely the pressure on the shoulders of Danzig right now. 24 seconds, the concussion has been dropped. The push aggressively in onto Bacon. He will be dropped down, taking it into 1v1. Double kill for Danzig. Kahuna has a lot of work to do to get in and contest this. Putting that diffuser down, Danzig sticking it here behind the bomb. He's seen it, he doesn't quite realize that the stick will be finished and the drop, and Kahuna will pick it up, taking the first round of overtime in favor of Vague.
Very excited there from Kahuna, being able to clutch that out. Honestly, the one thing I want to point out though is Bacon just peeking in, collecting the 2 people in archives, turn that round so heavily for Vegas. Mozzie could have pulled off some heroics there, but he was being sensible, droning him out first, but that did mean he was delayed in trying to push top floor, so that did mean that he would have been too late to pull off any heroics. Luckily, Rauk will just clap some kids.
Yeah, I mean, Bacon coming up large with literally no support in position to refrag if he did get taken down, while peeking those heads of lethality there, as we are going to be switching over the second round of overtime, 7-6 in favor of Vague. They will be on the attack now, and we see a bit of a change-up. The Capital being played here by Buck. No, it looks like it's going to be 6th pick out. Capital would have been a good one to watch. They're going to pick up the Thermite instead in Orbit. We'll be swapping out that Legion for the Doc.
Yeah, obviously bringing no hard support, you're obviously going to see someone switch to a hard support. Capital going makes sense, as usually if there's no hard support needed on a site, your hard support will go to Capital. Mainly because Capital plays like a mix of your main hard breach and smoke, obviously with his fire bolts and actual smoke grenades, or smoke bolts, sorry. He does play very similar to smoke, and then with the rifle, it's very similar to a lot of the hard breach, especially Thermite's gun. So,
yeah, some of those big 5.56 carriers can do a decent chunk of damage if given the opportunity. And we are going to be heading back to Armory Archives once again. And the reinforcements, and they're going for the exact same strategy we've seen them playing time and time again. Open up the right-hand side of that main wall and look for these aggressive peaks. And I mean, it worked a couple of times really well. Will it work in overtime is the big question, though.
Yeah, so Lethality obviously have to win this. If they don't, Vague take the series. Vague, if they lose this, they get one more shot, but obviously Vague is going to be trying their hardest to win this. Just wanting it to end if you are Vague. So,
yeah, obviously, I would imagine that it's probably a little bit closer than they would have liked coming into the series tonight. 7-6 in the second map after they took it 7-2. So a far better performance out of Lethality so far, and we are going to be seeing a pretty standard setup in terms of the attack and defenders, something that we've seen time and time again in this map so far, Covert. Will Sundere come up large is the big question, though.
Honestly, I've said it before, I don't like putting fraggers on smoke. It's the waste of utility.
Yeah, and it will be that initial push coming out of the attackers. Orbit in a position to capitalize on the initial push into office there, as well as I do believe we may have lost the co-caster once again.
No,
but
okay.
It will be these holes, those tight angles there on their defense. The drones will be coming out looking to figure out where people are. The Thermite being dropped now, as they are going to be looking to push in aggressively to office. They are looking for something. Kuna taking a bit of early damage, as well as Zenis. Zenis will find up the kill onto Axel, though. That is the sledge down. That soft breach now completely gone. And they are on their side. It will be actually no, not completely gone. It is up to Rice there now to be able to take it here.
Good.
They are entering the second minute of this overtime round. They have lines of sight into this B bomb site, as well as the drone setup as well. Maestro there, Salty, looking to go larger, that big machine gun again. We've seen him do it a couple of times so far in this map. It hits so hard, and he can swing wide and get the damage down. It would be Sandre from the flanks looking for the spray with the SMG-11. Gets a bit of damage down onto the Thermite there. Just tickling Bacon a wee bit. Spray coming in response onto Orbit. They are holding a lot of crossfires, not the aggressive playstyle we have traditionally seen out of Lethality up until this point. They are just holding angles, looking for little peaks here. In favorable positions, trying to get the advantage. More spray coming out. Final minute up on the clock so far. Sprays through these soft walls are so scary right now. They are looking to do what they can. Poison grenade has been dropped into Fountain there by Sandre. It's a much slower style of play from both sides. Doc using that stim into Sundere as well. Trying to heal him up. Kahuna has been dropped. And unfortunately, this is going to be that rotation threat being denied here. Nomad. It will be Culver, though, rotating and taking off the head of Sundere. So taking down that priority frag. A Danstick, though, will refrag out onto Bacon, a man who came up big the last time they were onto this armory site. But in defense, Frey going out onto Rice. Zenis will clean that one up with that little MP7. Zenis triple kill now as he takes down Culver as well. Kahuna in a bit of trouble. 1v4 currently. Spraying through the soft wall. We'll just get ducked under. And Zenis will pick up a fourth into that round. Lethality evening things up once again.
Yeah, good job there from Lethality.
I think we've got my caster back. Are you there, Covert?
Yep. Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
No, still not quite sure what is going on. We're having a couple of issues in terms of connectivity. I can't quite hear him at the moment. We're having a few issues, not what's going on. I will carry on until I get some messages letting things know that they have been sorted.
Is my... We good, yeah? Alright, bet.
It is going to be going down to Ventilation Workshop. It's been an interesting one so far. Very even as it has been. I've got to wonder if, either team at this point can push it to that final round. Whether it's going to be that third map of Villa coming out. Lethality can take it, or Vague finally putting this series to rest. It has been absolute turmoil going into this map right now. What I'll do is I'm going to do a quick reset, and then I'll be right back after I've got Discord sorted.
Alright, well, yeah, we should hopefully be good. For me, just taking over real quick. So, yeah, Panda's having some Discord issues, can't hear anyone else in Discord. Unlucky, but I will continue. So we will be seeing the armory setup here from, downstairs setup. Workshopping events, from Vague. So this will obviously be the last round of this map. If Lethality win it, we go to a third map. If Vague win it, Vague take the series. So much pressure on both teams. A lot of pressure on Lethality's shoulders, but there's also quite a bit on Vague's. Is if they lose this, then they will have to play another map out. And if it continues, if it continues the way it has been going, Lethality is going to take this series because they've just been improving significantly map to map so far. So
yeah, and I believe I am back. Things all sort of not quite sure what happened, but yeah, you're most definitely right. Lethality. I mean, this is how we've seen them play. The first series they played, it was a good start to finish. Oh no, we've got an issue. It might be a... oh no, they can't bend it out the wall. A bug. This is rough. This is rough for sure. And
Yeah,
there's no potential for a rehost, so it will be Vague having to play this one out. It's a bit rough, but you got to do what you got to do.
As someone that plays Bandit, I have to admit, it's I don't know what Ubi's done, but they have absolutely manked this last season. Didn't happen at all before this last season. Meanwhile, this last season it comes about, and it seems pretty much every map.
Culver will pick up that initial kill on to Sundere again. The man is so feast or famine. Either he picks up a couple of kills at the start of the round or he dies outright. There's no in between. So they have the advantage now in this, the 15th round and the third round of overtime as well. Culver going big, 10 kills under his name. Zenis as well, putting a pretty solid performance. Both teams have been playing out of their minds so far as Zenis takes a bit more damage there off the back of, I believe it was Kahuna, and they're looking for these tight angles. Again, that advantage gathering. Oh, unfortunately, he stays crouched. Unfortunately, I say, I mean, maybe it was for the best. He was getting sprayed on pretty heavily there by Zenis. Looking for the headshots. Cool. I think it's another one with the Danstick. Double kill for him. He's looking for a third. Triple. He's found Zenis. 5v2.
One going down.
The bomb is being, the diffuser is being planted. Culver has gone huge. Bacon will find the kill onto Salty. He is looking for the rotation. Culver going for the defuse here. I don't even know if they can contest it. It's all up to Orbit, and he will be fragged. Axel picking that one up, allowing the man, the myth, the legend,
and that will be
to clean that one up and take the win.
Culver once again just coming in clutch when he needs to, absolutely destroying Lethality in that last round.
I mean, you see it there on the screen, a hard-fought victory that describes this map so perfectly. 8-7. Lethality really made Vague go the distance.
Yeah, that was I think it's honestly the way that things have been going. It's a good thing there. Obviously, that they win that because if they don't, if things continue, Lethality will just stonk them.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. The Lethality did warm up in the end, and it's got to be hugely relieving to Vague after finish that out. Because I mean, a map 3, especially on Villa, can go either way with a lot of these teams. And
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I do enjoy watching a bit of Villa, I think it would have been mentally draining for Vague if it had.
Yeah. The one thing I gotta say is still not seen theme park, so that makes me sad. But maybe we see it next map. But that will be the end of this game. Obviously, they're taking it. So thank you all for sitting here and letting me cast and watching this map. We will be back shortly with our second match of the night, more than likely with a different set of casters. So, peace.